Son shit, y'all ready?
I hope y'all are. This episode is, I don't know. This episode is me ranting a little bit. I have to get it off my chest. It's just some stuff I gotta talk about it. And it's not politics. It ain't got nothing to do with black history in general. Unless you talk about musical joints, whatever. But if you see the title, you know where we going with this. So yeah, man, we gotta talk about this 90's thing. 90's music, 90's hip hop and R&B. We have to talk about it. And I'm gonna tell you why. This is what happened. A few months ago, month or so ago, I'm finishing up my show on Legal Crime Radio, live at the Oasis. Y'all know the show. No, you know what I mean? Y'all might not listen, but y'all know when y'all hear that second segment, the actual history segment, that's an excerpt from a real show. That's, you know what I mean? So, doing the show's over, end up connecting with my girl. She is watching some DJ, I don't know his name. I ain't gonna hate on the brother. I don't know the brother. Do a 90's mix. Her thing is, I don't listen to your joints all the time because you ain't really playing a lot of 90's music. Which, by the way, she right. Unless I'm focusing on something like 94 hip hop or like, yo, remember this was the joint in the 90's, Flavor Unit versus what did I have it? Flavor Unit versus Native Tongues or something like that, or I do a Tribe joint or something, you know what I'm saying? It's usually something in that Wu-Tang Wednesdays or something like that, maybe, yeah, sure. But she was right to a degree. I don't just sit down and go, yo, I'm gonna make every Wednesday, because Wednesdays is the joint I get down, Rewind Wednesdays and Wonder Year Wednesdays, where it's all classic joints. She's right. I don't just focus on 90's. I get it. I understand that. Lets this one DJ play. Next DJ comes up, she let this dude play. I'm starting to realize these dudes is playing the same music. Like, this is two different dudes who are playing the same joint. Different order, of course, but same joint. Now I'm out here rabbit holing. You know what I mean? Because now I done fell into this space, and I'm checking out a lot of these DJs on YouTube, and I'm looking at their track listing. It's the same joints. You know what I'm saying? Give or take a couple of different joints, it's the same 30 records. I'm like, yo. I also noticed that she listens to slow jams. 90's R&B slow jams, quiet storms. I'm like, okay. Alright. Check their track listing. A lot of the same records. You mean to tell me out of a decade, 10 years of music, that all of these DJs have basically agreed upon about 100 records? You know what I'm saying? This many slow jams, this many, you know what I'm saying, get the party popping records. That's what they agreed upon. For the most part, 100 records. All of these DJs literally have some of this, like, again, not counting a couple of joints here and there are different, but for the most part, you basically are getting the same records from multiple DJs of one decade. You know what I mean? Like, how is that possible? Can somebody explain that to, like, is there a thing where, like, DJs are going to go, oh, I want 90's music, and they're given a list to pick from? Like, yo, these are the quintessential 90's records. At the end of the day, there kind of isn't any quintessential 90's records. The 90's isn't like the 2000s or the 2010s or the 80's. The 90's is a different breed of R&B and hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? A different breed. And when somebody's like, yo, it's just about 100 songs, y'all playing yourselves. 100? Just 100? Y'all, come on, man. 100? And I know somebody's listening thinking to themselves, 100 sound like a lot. It's really not a lot. It's really not a lot of music for a decade. You could take 94 and come up with about 100 records in 94. And somebody goes sit around and go, I think you lying. I'm not lying. Diversity was the key at the 90's was ridiculous. Look, Mary J, R. Kelly, Toni Braxton, Mariah Carey. And I'm picking those four, and I can throw Keith Sweat in there. I could also throw Tony in there. Matter of fact, so that's 7. So what is that? Mary J, Tony, R. Kelly, Mariah Carey, Keith Sweat, that's 6. SWV, that's 7. TLC, you can put TLC in it, that's 8. Right? And we're talking multiple albums in this decade. That's what I'm talking about. Multiple albums in this decade that we know was the joints. We're talking about from the early 90s to that late 90s. Joe falls in that category. And I'm only sticking with R&B right now. So I got 8 artists. 8 artists in that decade dropped about 3 to 4 albums. Give or take, right? R. Kelly about 4. Mary J. Blige about 4. Mariah Carey about 4. Tony Braxton about 4. You know what I'm saying? Keith Sweat about 4. SWV I think about 3, maybe 3. But point is, you got 5 to 6 off top. That's 4 albums deep. 10 records apiece. I think R. Kelly did a double joint, so we're going to average it out as 10 records. 10 records, 4 albums, 10 songs in 10 years. 4 albums. And I'm saying that's 40 that's 40 songs for R. Kelly. And this is back in the 90s when R. Kelly's whole album was on the radio. Tony Braxton's whole album was on the radio. Soundtracks were all over. The whole soundtrack was on the radio. Like, you ain't even need to buy them joints. You just caught up. And you know what I'm saying? Okay, that one, boom, boom, boom. And rock out. What is y'all talking about? Tony Braxton, 4 albums. 3 to 4 albums. 10 records. That's 30 to 40. Mariah Carey, 40. That's 80. Mary J, 40. That's 120. I just passed the 100 right there. And I could rock a slow jam without even passing R. Kelly, Tony Braxton, Mary J. Blige, and Mariah Carey. I could rock a slow jam mix and throw Tony in there just to even out. You know what I'm saying? Throw Tony in there and Keith Sweat to even out. 3 dudes, 3 chicks, 3 chick artists, 3 dude artists. Nobody's gonna be dissatisfied. Nobody's gonna come away going, whatever. They're gonna be rocking. It's our anniversary, gonna be rocking them. You know what I'm saying? Bump and Grind, the regular order remix is gonna be rocking them. Week at the Knees is gonna be rocking them. You know what I'm saying? My love, my life, what you gonna do without my love? My life, what you gonna? My love is something, but yeah. Go rock them. Rock them. Breathe again, and it breathe again. Go rock them. Go rock them. I ain't gotta go nowhere. Did that just off of that? Keith Sweat. There you go, telling me no again. Oh, just off of that. And nobody's gonna pay attention, but somebody gonna be like, yo, you know this ain't nothing but the same 6 artists. He done hit us in the head for about an hour or so with the same 6 artists. And I'm not mad. I'm okay with that. So it's not that you can't. And that's just, again, 6 artists. I ain't get to Boyz II Men. I ain't get to Jodeci. I ain't get to Silk. I ain't get to Shy. Do you feel where I'm coming from? I haven't even left those 6 artists that can rock y'all or some slow jam joints. I ain't even gonna get into the up-tempo joints. I can rock y'all with these slow jams with just 6 artists. The music was so diverse in one decade that y'all are out here trying to minimize a decade into 100 records and a handful of artists. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. It's a wide spread. Look, let me take Aaliyah. We watched Aaliyah go from hanging out with R. Kelly, blowing up, becoming big, becoming a mega star, leaving this brother, re-emerging, don't call it a comeback, with Tim and Missy, and taking the game over. Look, left R. Kelly, came back with Missy and Tim, and just created a whole new sound. Everybody was out here with them trick drums. Remember that? Timberland had y'all out here trick drumming. Boom, 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 boom. Everybody, Tim had everybody out here doing that. He had everybody join. Boom, 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 boom. Everybody was doing that joint. I did a couple of them joints too. I had a couple of beats. I was like, yeah, I found out how to do that, son. Point is, she in a decade switched up her whole sound on us. Monica, Usher, Mona Lisa, Brandy was also Gina Thompson. All these little young chicks, young dudes coming up in here trying to get their game on. Soul for real. All of this is the same decade when these youngins was up here rocking y'all in the head, had y'all out here singing songs. And y'all, I remember y'all was like 20s and 30s back in them days, singing these kids songs hard body. Y'all was out here one of them days, broken hearted. Y'all was out here broken hearted. Y'all remember them joints. Don't play like I'm just saying something. You know what I'm saying? R. Kelly and Toni Braxton and Mary J. Blige and Mariah Carey ran that decade. Whitney Houston turned black again in that decade. 85, 87, 89, it was kind of but when that Bodyguard soundtrack hit, you was like, ooh, wee, okay, yeah. Had the world locked down with that, and I will, yeah, don't play. We out here acting like that ain't all in the same decade. It's all in the same decade. What is you? Look, R&B male groups were under two umbrellas. Either you were Jodeci or you were Boys II Men. Unless you were Mint Condition and Tony. Which, by the way, let me tell y'all something. Tony was the most diverse R&B group in that decade. Tony was the Tribe Called Quest and Outkast of their decade, of the 90s. Every album was different. The stuff that they dropped, the singles, you would think, like, when you hear that joint, you know what I'm saying? You're like, yo, that was a single. There's a video for it and everything. And like the home funk, the whole bluesy joint, you know what I'm saying? Remember that? That was a single. The joint really good and hear you say, baby, was a single. Two totally different records rocking. They was out here hitting you in the head. So if you weren't Mint Condition, who again, and a lot of these dudes only play You Breaking My Heart. Nah, son, they had some slow jam joints for you. Let's stop playing. That ain't the point though. What I'm saying is, if you weren't these dudes, if you weren't Mint Condition and Tony, you fell under the umbrella of Boys II Men or Jodeci. You know what I'm saying? Dru Hill was the Jodeci people. Again, when they talk about the 90s, they don't play a lot of Dru Hill. Dru Hill was the 90s. That back end. They was on the back end going into the 2000s. Cisco went solo around the 2000s. Around the end of the 90s. You know what I'm saying? So let's not play that game. Anyway, H-Town. That's Jodeci. You know what I mean? You get Shy. That's Boys II Men. All for One. That's Boys II Men. You know what I'm saying? If they were harmonizing to try to be extra last night, I'm going to put them over there with Boys II Men. Was it As Yet? Yeah, they go with Boys II Men. That was just the way it went. Intro. I don't even know. Intro, I'm going to say, yeah, let's put them over here because they had the hip-hop beats and all that. We're going to put them under Jodeci. It was basically that. Silk, I'm going to put them under, because they didn't have that powerhouse vocal joint going on. So, yeah, when you didn't go powerhouse with your vocals, you go under Boys II Men. You part of the Boys II Men squad. That's what that was. Let's not act like we don't remember them joints, son. They was out here rocking. And salute the Intro. Intro was so ill, and people don't play Intro. Intro was so ill on a slow jam tip, and I ain't even gonna talk about the way they was out here. They took the You Got to Have It beat and freaked it. They was taking some dope hard, like they was keeping up with Mary J more than anybody on something like, yo, I can sing over these hip hop joints, and they was rocking them. But on a slow jam tip, my aunt swore up and down that Stevie Wonder remade Ribbon in the Sky. Them dudes was so ill with it. Come inside. Hey, look. Whoa. Come inside. And I'm gonna tell y'all something real. A lot of them older head broads, they was into that record. They was into that record because first of all, I can't remember my man's name, the lead singer, but he had the vocals, and they was out here, yo, Bobby, I give it to you, baby. Hey, he was, hey. Then my mama and them, like, be up at night on a Thursday or Wednesday, and I'm up at night, 10 o'clock come, and they wouldn't play Coming Tide till like about 11, you know what I'm saying? 11 o'clock or so come, and that song come on, it's like, I love that song. But you like, ooh, it's late, they gonna play the whole joint. The whole joint. They play that whole joint. Ooh, wait. My mama like, what? Hold on. Whoa. Is this the same record? This is the same record, mama. I gotta go upstairs. Hey, being young and hearing that part, oh my God, you just out here on swole. You know what I'm saying? Like, she get the moaning, you be like, ah! You just want to do things. Like, and then, you know, that was the guide too. Like, music was guiding you. You know what I'm saying? That music in the 90s was guiding you. When you really like somebody and you wanted to be all like, I love you, lovey-dovey you and all that over there. That's that bended knee, I make love to you. You know what I'm saying? Last night, I saw the moon, the stars, the heaven and the earth and all that. You know what I mean? That's all that beautifulness right there. Like, you want to look into her eyes. Like, ooh, girl, I want to look into your eyes. I think I love you. I think I love you so much, baby. I want to look into your eyes. H-Town. H-Town is for that broad you just saw at the school function. H-Town for that broad you met at the mall. H-Town is for that freaky deaky broad that's like, oh, let's go over here to this abandoned building. I'll hit you off real quick. What? That's when you body rocking, knocking the boots. That's you out here doing it with your clothes on. All you did was pull your pants down. That's H-Town. Boys, the men of them, you want to be looking in their face, girl. H-Town, you don't even care about it. Hey, turn around, girl. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't even know. Yeah, who's that? I don't know. That's that broad that was dropping me, that was rocking with me last week. You know, you keep it. You know what I mean? Jodeci, fiending for you. You know what I mean? That's that. But you know, on the other side of that is a shorty you thought you was really, really feeling hurt your heart. You be out here all like, it's been an hour since you been gone, but that's too long to come back home. Yeah, you be out here in the pavement at the parking lot, outside her window, doing the two-step sway with your fingers snapping. Oh, you got your vest on, no shirt. It's cold outside. You got cold all up in your chest. You just hocking loogies, but you want her. You know what I'm saying? Baby, I'm back. Say all right. Yeah, you be out here. Lord have mercy. And they just be like, mama be like, mama, hey, get him, hey, got all these people out here looking, leave her alone. She said no. Call the police on you. Close the door. It was real though. R&B was real. A lot of these joints don't even have like, I don't want to call them one-hit wonders, but they ain't got the roams. You know what I'm saying? I give all my love. Yo, they ain't got them joints. What was the joint? The lullaby chick that was rocking with Wyclef from the DMV or something. Little girls, tuck me in joint. They ain't got the tuck me in joint. They ain't got no Tracy Spencer joints. What is y'all talking about? They ain't got the Shanice Smile joint. Shanice, and then what was the joint with the slow jam she had with Johnny Gibb, Silent Prayers? Oh, wait, they ain't got them joints. They ain't got the Howard Hewitt joints. They ain't got nothing. They just like, yo, we gonna focus on Escape, TLC, Mary J, Mariah Carey, Toni Braxton, Whitney Houston, Keith Sweat, Jodeci, Boyz II Men, and like I said, a lot R. Kelly. A lot of them don't count Dru Hill for whatever reason. They don't put Dru Hill in that mix. They don't put Next in that mix. Next was right, like Next is 90, 98, 99. They don't slide them in that. Not Next. Next. Butter Love. Yeah, they don't slide that Butter Love and hold on. They don't slide Butter Love and Jagged Edge in that mix. Jagged Edge first came out in 97. And then they dropped another album in 99. So like, yo, they're not counting these people. again, it felt like people just grab a list, and this is the list that they gotta choose from. These are the list of records, like how you see these dudes with these new production stems or whatever. Like, yeah, this is the range of stuff, and these are the range of drums, and you just pick and make you a beat. Look how easy it is. It's like dudes are given a list, and you choose from this group of records. And yeah, and if you're from the 90s, you know it's so much more music out there. Adriana Evans, Killer, D'Angelo, by the way, 90s. Erykah Badu, 90s. And here's my thing. Then they get real slick, and they go, yo, by the way, I'm gonna throw this joint up in there, and that's not the 90s. How y'all get that up in there? What did I miss something? Like, hold on. That's 2000, son. Y'all just threw Carl Thomas and I'm Emotional. Y'all threw I'm Emotional up in this joint. Whoa, son. That's 2000. How we letting y'all slide with that? We can't, nah, pull back. That's not that. The Life soundtrack. That's the 90s, son. You could throw anything off of that, which was a dope set. That's fortunate. Look, you get fortunate in that joint. By the way, Maxwell, 90s. Brian McKnight, early 90s. One Last Cry, that's the early 90s, son. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many joints out there that we are not, y'all ain't, yo, stop. Men at Large, that's 92. Like, there's, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many artists that y'all are out here missing. Portrait. Here we go again. Here we go. Here we go again. All that joint. Y'all missing all that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no disrespect. I'm just saying. Then we go into the hip hop. Y'all trash on this hip hop. Y'all got these dudes that go, I want to give y'all that boom bap. Y'all play the same artists. Y'all play the same music, not realizing that it's so much more. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go, I'm gonna play West Coast. And somehow y'all done. It's Tupac, NWA, Eazy-E, 8, Quick. Somewhere along the line while y'all talking about we represent West Coast hip hop, y'all throw in Bone Thug, they Cleveland. And I know somebody listening go, but they're affiliate. No. They're Cleveland. Stop. That's Cleveland. They're a Cleveland group. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might throw an E40 in there. Y'all gonna throw a Too Short in there. Then y'all totally miss out because there's no Drew Down. There's no Rapping Forte. There's no Richie Rich. You know what I'm saying? Y'all throw that Loonies in, but then y'all act like Loonies only had that one joint. Y'all be out here missing a lot of joints. You know what I'm saying? Above the Law, Lynch Mob. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be missing some joints. Y'all be out here totally Mad Circle. Do y'all understand Mad Circle gave the world Coolio and Dub C? Y'all play West Side Connect Dub C, but y'all ain't playing Mad Circle Dub C and Coolio. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's like y'all get a list and this is what you gotta work from. Y'all go on this, we gonna boom back East Coast New York rap. Mobb Deep, Wu-Tang, Nas, Jay, Big. Maybe some Boot Camp Click. Did I say Wu-Tang? Wu-Tang. Redman, Def Squad. Let's just say Def Squad. By the way, EPMD was still rocking in the 90s. No Rakim was rocking in the early 90s. Just putting it out there. King Son was rocking in the early 90s. No Boogie Down production, but the 2 to 3 KRS-One records. It's always 2 to 3 KRS-One records. It's gonna be Step Into the World. It's gonna be the what's the joint with the MCs Act Like They Don't Know. MCs Act Like They Don't Know. Step Into the World and Black Cop. No, not Black Cop. Sound of the Police. You know what I'm saying? Whoop, whoop. That's your 3 KRS-Ones. You done minimize KRS-One's contribution in the 90s to 3 records. Dude, it's an accomplishment that KRS-One was rocking all the way into the 2000s, by the way. Just saying that. as far as on a mainstream level where he was still important to the whole joint, because he's still dropping records now. That's a whole nother conversation. Kool Moe Dee was still dropping records in the 90s. Chuck D went solo and dropped a song, maybe a whole album, but I know for sure, I remember I copped the single where it was no meaning no is the easiest word to say. No more hesitance. No, that no. De La Soul and Tribes were 89 dudes, but their whole legacy is the 90s. Their legacy takes over in the 90s. Busta Rhymes is a 90s dude. They don't play Leaders of the New School. They don't play Main Source. They don't play Trends and Culture. They don't play UMCs. They don't play the Fooshnickens. The dudes who gave Shaquille O'Neal his opportunity to spit bars. What are we talking about? They get into this joint, you know what I'm saying, and they just and they gloss over all of that, and they go, now we're gonna play some Lox and DMX and Nori. Like, dudes, y'all done skipped over a whole lot of hip hop to go from here. Again, I feel like people are just giving a list. They're giving a list. Nobody, if you're a real hip hop head from the 90s, and I drop E-Rule record, listen, everybody's gonna ride. Everybody knows what's up. I play, you know what I'm saying, the Bums joint. Wanna free my mind. The whole spot is gonna get it. They gonna get it. They're there. We here with that. Alcoholics, Exhibit, Farside. What do we say? Razkaz. Razkaz is not on anybody's hip hop 90s mix. And his instrumental joint was one of the most used instrumentals for 90s hip hop. That joint, H2O, Waterproof MC. I'm the Waterproof MC. That joint, it's even used on 8 Miles. Like, it was the most used instrumental when that joint dropped. You couldn't avoid that instrumental when it dropped. That, the Paula Perry joint, what are we talking about? We don't even talk about her. With these dudes like female rappers from the 90s, and then they get lost because they can't think of anybody past Kim, Foxy, Trina, Latifah, Light, Salt and Pepper. It's like, whoa, son, there's a whole gang. ISIS, the Five Deadly Venom Broads, Entice by herself. Salute to Entice. Oh my God, oh my God, Entice was so sexy. What in the world? But anyway, point is, it was a lot of chicks. MC Champ. We can go on and on. You dudes just Bahamadia. Y'all just get to the point and then throw Lauryn Hill in, and Lauryn Hill, y'all act like Rock Digger don't exist. Y'all act like Rage don't exist. Y'all tripping out here. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of... Charlie Baltimore technically dropped, I think, in 99. So she gets into that lane. What are y'all doing? Whose list of y'all, you know what I'm saying? Return of the Mac makes it. This is how we do it. Montel Jordan makes it. No disrespect to either one of them. But I'm going to tell you now. I play some joints, and I go and play joints from the 90s. Those two songs, I know they're staples. I might not ever get to them because there's so much out there. The 90s gave the world B-sides and remixes. Bad Boy remixes. Trackmaster remixes. Jermaine Dupri remixes. There was a dude named All-Star. All-Star remixes was ridiculous. What did y'all talking about? And then there was Devontae started doing remixes for people. Eric Sermon started doing remixes for people. Clark Kent, rest in peace to Clark Kent. Clark Kent had remixes. Matter of fact, most of his remixes you can find Jay-Z on a lot of. If it was a Clark Kent remix, Jay-Z was somewhere on that record. Salute. And if you want to talk about loyalty, that is some beautiful dude, we gonna get you out here one way or the other. They asked me to do a remix. Jump on that. Spit a verse on that. Y'all ain't understanding. I could do a whole show with nothing but remixes and rock y'all and keep it popping. And people don't even play a lot of these remixes. The Untouchable remixes, that's Eddie F joint. B-sides. Oh, son, you be out like, yo, hold on. What is that? One of the most famous B-sides is Hip Hop versus Rap, KRS-One. One of the most popular joints. You're like, yo, what is that? The question remains. Gangstar. That ain't on no album. The Wick was a B-side. Ice Cube had B-sides. The game was different. And when you guys are just trying to tell me that there's only 100 records for the 90s, being someone who grew up in the 90s, I'm offended. I'm personally offended by that. And when I see you and I see that you look like me, you look like you're up here going, yo, remember this? I remember when. I think you weren't outside, son. I don't think you was really listening to the radio. I don't think, and which is crazy. I don't know where was you getting your music from? And you go, this is my second joint of 90s music. And you realize, oh, you still ain't expanded your palette. Like, you still in the same lane. Son, early 90s. We were out here listening to house music on a regular basis. Like, pop culturally. Black radio was out here listening to house music, dance music. Dun, 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 dun. Everybody dance now. Yeah. CNC Music Factory and Cross Color Clothes went together. Like, y'all remember Free? What was his name? Freedom? Out here looking like a buff Ice-T? I thought that dude was Ice-T for the longest time. I thought Ice-T changed his name. He was like, yo, I don't want to be Ice-T doing this old poppy dance stuff. My man was out here dancing in slacks in his videos, son. It's like he just came from an office meeting, had to go to the video shoot, and they was like, yo, I ain't got time to change those clothes. I'm gonna just do it like this. Dance to the rhythm, dance to the rhythm. He get to dancing with the slacks on. You like, yo, no shirt, all buff, looking like Ice-T with the shades on. Dance to the rhythm, dance to the rhythm. Dun. Sound like him a little bit. Dun. Like, yo, who is this Ice-T looking dude? Like, y'all light-skinned dudes with ponytails is really out here trying to take over. Either you gonna be gangster or you gonna be up in the clubs. What y'all doing? But that was the joint. What was the burn? Ow. Ow. Yeah. Everybody. Yeah. If you remember the 90s, you remember we was out here rocking to that joint too. Follow me. Hey. What was the other joint? Gotta have house music. Yeah. And the one that would always make you be like, yo, I want to get down, but I gotta fall back. Time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator. Time for the percolator. Time for the percolator. Hey, the percolator would get it going. Well, when the percolator came on, and I'm sure they got the rock, he'd be like, oh yeah, uh-huh. You know what would always mess it up? When dudes would be percolating, they get on the ground, they get the booty shaking, and you be like, all right, bro, I ain't doing all that. That's wild, son. You be like, yo, my man just dropped down and got the twerking. That wasn't even the thing. We ain't even call it twerking back then. We're like, yo, what is my man doing? And it wasn't even that. That wasn't even the craziest part. And all y'all women, if you grew up in the 90s, you know what I'm talking about. Dudes would get down and get the shaking, and then it would be another dude who would stand over him and start pelvic thrusting and gyrating. My man done raised up his butt. My man is still, you know what I'm saying, gyrating in front of this man's butt. You're like, oh, this is the most gayest thing I ever seen, son. I'm not trying to do this right now. I'm off the dance floor. I'm gonna just sit back and they would gather a crowd. They be dancing. You're like, okay, now I gotta go back over here and look, because the crowd got thick. What are these dudes doing now? Women loved it. Only dancey dudes was appreciative of that. If you weren't a dancey dude, you were just like, yo, this is really homoerotic, son. Like, this dude is now they got their legs between each other's legs, and they dry humping each other, eye focusing on each other. Time for the percolator. Hey, give it to me, dog. I'm like, nah. But I can tell you one thing. They came away with all the chicks' numbers. They had all the chicks' numbers. All the chicks was giving them their numbers. And you up here like, that's what I gotta do to get all you chicks to ride with me? Dance all risque with another dude? Get all like, And I had a homie tell me that too. He was like, it's just dancing, dog. Ain't nothing gay about it. I don't know, dog. Y'all was like, y'all was between each other. Like, you fell on the ground on your back and he got in the missionary style, and y'all just, we ain't touching each other, though. Ain't nothing touch each other. I don't know, son. This is I don't know. I don't know, man. But we was doing that. Robin S. Show me love. Hey, all that we was rocking all that house music and reggae. When you do these 90 mixes, y'all don't even slide into the reggae. There's a whole nother level for that. There's a whole nother group of people who do reggae. That was a thing. Shabba Ranks, Sing-a-ling-a-ling. Hey, all of Super Cat with Mary J. Blige and Biggie. You know what I'm saying? I love it when they call me Big Papa. Showstopper. Yeah. What are y'all talking? That's 90s music. How are y'all just going, it's these 100 songs and we'll be done? And I get it. Maybe somebody had told you that these are the 100 songs that resonate with people the most, but it's not. It's not. I'm pretty sure anybody who's listening to me right now who remembers the 90s just felt nostalgic and was like, yo, son, I remember them. I remember them joints. Y'all did. Y'all did. I remember them joints. TLC dropped Scrubs. Sporty Thieves dropped Pigeons. That's the 90s. Y'all remember them. Y'all remember them joints, son. We remember them joints. Who that is, my baby daddy. Y'all remember them joints. Doodoo Brown. Y'all remember them joints. That's the 90s. Funk that. Why is it every time that's the 90s? You know what I'm saying? Here comes the end band, and something, anybody like that? Nah, 90s. They just stick to this script of it gotta be these artists and it has to be these songs. The music was so much more diverse. Anthony Hamilton dropped an album for Uptown Records in the 90s. I know that because Hampton University HOV was my joint. I lived and died that station, especially when it came to slow jams, because they played more than 103 Jams did. 103 Jams played all the stuff that you're supposed to play, all the stuff that you would see on BET. They played that. HOV was they was playing anything, and they would play this one song that was from, and I didn't know who it was. Found out later on it was Anthony Hamilton, because Anthony Hamilton said he was on Uptown, and then he said what the song was. And I'm like, oh snap, that was my joint too. Word? Yo. So what I felt like I had to do, and what I'm going to do, selfishly plugging this, by the way, I am going to, I do a thing called Soul Session Sundays. All slow jams in November will be 90s music. I do my show on Legal Crime Radio, selfish plug, live at the Oasis. Again, y'all know what it is. On Wednesdays, I take it back to the classics. This for November is going to be all 90s November. All 90s music. That's at least 3 Sundays. 3 to 4 Sundays, 3 to 4 Wednesdays. And I can tell you now, there will not be any songs repeated on any of those shows. You know what I'm saying? There will not be any songs repeated on either one of those shows. Whether it's the Sunday Soul Sessions or whether it's my Rewind Wednesday, all 90s November. You're not, I repeat, not going to hear the same song at any point. I might cheat and play a remix, but you best believe if I play the remix sounds nothing like the original. Like if I go, ooh, I'll play that Bump and Grind remix, and then I'll be like, yo, later on I might want to play the album version. And if you really know, you know the remix is that joint. The remix is so much better than the original. Salute to R. Kelly. Did R. Kelly ever come out with like whole remix albums? Because he had remixes for whole joints that was totally different. Remember the remix he had for I Can't Breathe Without, I Can't Breathe Without, I can't, somebody to hurt you. The joint where he in the video and he got the sweater on and the helicopter in the snow. Then he does the remix that sounds like Tony Braxton. I can't eat, I can't sleep. Hey, that joint was woof. Hey, that joint. Yo, The remix to that was so much iller than the regular version. Yo. Mary J had remixes for days. Killing them. You know what I'm saying? Harlem music. Everybody talks about Cam Mason, Big L. Nobody brings up McGruff. McGruff was nasty with it. Y'all ain't understanding. This was that era. Music was great. And I'ma show it. Because I don't understand why we are out here listening to just the same 100 records. Multiple DJs are giving you the same 100 records in different orders. When there's so much music out there that you ain't really got to play the same records, DJs. And again, don't believe me if you're listening. I know this joint goes on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, type in 90s hip hop mix. Look at their track listings. It's the same records unless they're specifying, oh, I only do West Coast. Oh, I only do this. Oh, it's the greatest of this type of joint. But if it's just a straight 90s mix, it's the same. Most of the records are the same records. Most of the artists are the same artists when there's so many artists out here. Babyface also ran the 90s. Matter of fact, on a production tip, let me break it down like this. Going into the 90s, it was Teddy Riley, Babyface, and L.A. Reid, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis. That was your go-to. Your music had to be produced by one of those three or all three of those people going into the 90s. You hit the 90s, those dudes had to sit back and make room for R. Kelly, who became that dude. R. Kelly became that dude. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to find a way to work with R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? Dark Child establishes himself. We talk about Tim. You know what I'm saying? Timbaland really gets going thanks to Aaliyah in that late end of the 90s type runs. You know what I'm saying? The soundscape of music changed. Devontae was that dude for a hot minute. People had to go to him to get their music. Like, yo, you really want that joint to really crack? Go talk to Devontae Swing. That was the thing. You wanted you to have a good remix. Bad Boy, Trackmasters. At one time they were almost the same joint. They all worked together. Then they became separate entities. It became Bad Boy's crew, and then there was Trackmasters. You know what I'm saying? Trackmasters also became a thing that you needed to have on your album. That Trackmasters track, that Bad Boy track, that Jermaine Dupri track, Jermaine Dupri. All of these people, like, yo, the music, the soundscape for music was so diverse back then. It was ridiculous. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? RZA gave the world multiple albums, and no album sound alike. Ghost and Ray are the greatest duo of all time, just because they sound so, their sound is so compatible. They are companion pieces with each other. It is so dope. Their albums sonically were so totally different. RZA's a genius. Havoc held down Mobb Deep and anything Mobb Deep affiliated for that decade. Genius. Primo, we ain't even gonna talk about Primo. There was a time for hip hop. If you didn't have Primo and Pete Rock, Eric Sermon too. Eric Sermon was popping up all over the place too. KG, that was a time you wanted that Naughty by Nature sound. KG, Easy Mo B, Q-Tip, Dr. Dre, Quick, E Swift. Yeah, let's not play these games, man. The 90s was ridiculous. The 90s was a whole totally different thing. By the end of the 90s, you started having Crew. That was Shadow and Yogi and them. They was doing their thing. By the end of the 90s, you had Black Star, which then gave the world Most Def right at the end of the 99. You know what I'm saying? Ruckus Records was becoming a thing going into the new millennium. Hip hop, R&B, 90s, y'all playing, just going out here trying to rock 100 records. Y'all playing. I know I sound like I'm gonna stop my rant, but for all those who know what I'm talking about, yo, let's keep it real. You know what I'm saying? email me, comment me, do something. Like, let me know I'm not the only one that's noticing this. You know what I'm saying? Please let me know I'm not the only one that's noticing this stuff right here. You know what I'm saying? DJs, if you didn't live through it, I get it. Your ears might not even be able to adapt to how diverse music was back then. So you're at a disadvantage because you're not able to comprehend how drastically the sound of music would change. How you go from what UMC was doing and Leaders of the New School was doing to by the end of the decade, Nori and X and Jay-Z was doing, how Tupac's sound changed over the years from, you know what I'm saying, Brenda's Got a Baby to Come With Me, Hail Mary. Musically changed. Big. All of this joint, the whole soundscape of music. You know what I'm saying? I Got a Man was a dance record. You know what I'm saying? That's a club banger. You know what I'm saying? It's a Super Thug being a club banger. Two totally drastic sounds. Both were club bangers. All About the Benjamins is a club banger. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the way music was just always moving. I get it. Some of you younger DJs trying to get in on this 90s thing. Ooh, you know what? Really get some views and some listens if I say I got a 90s mix. I get that for you. I can't even hate on you. But you dudes who lived it, you females who lived it, and y'all are out here playing the same 100 records. I'm not gonna say no stupid stuff like shame on you. I'm gonna call it what it is. Y'all trash. Y'all garbage. Y'all are sucker DJs. It's a whole decade of good music. MC Trouble, rest in peace to MC Trouble, was rocking them. MC Trouble had some joints for him. Rest in peace. What are y'all talking about? Joints was out there, son. Lost Boys. Joints was out there, son. What are y'all? Y'all are garbage for falling into the same. I'm gonna only play the same 100 records. Nah. If you lived it, if you were there, if you understood what it was about, if you had debates on who was better between XYZ, this person and that person, and you know what I mean? If you remember them joints and you remember, oh yeah, I like this version, I like this song better than that song. En Vogue was the 90s. We don't talk about En Vogue. LL was great. Had a great run in the 90s. Starting with 1990, Mama Said Knock You Out. We don't talk about that. For some reason, we act like that. We'll do Hey Lover or something like that. We might do Who Shot You? You know what I'm saying? I Shot You. What it was? I Shot You. We might do dumb joints, but we forget. Mama Said Knock You Out. That's the 90s, son. That's 1990. That's the joint. And he was eating off of that for years. And y'all just act like that don't exist. I'm done, yo. Sucker DJs, please step your game up. You know what I'm saying? If you got time to post up volumes of 90s music and it's still the same artist, then you're not really representing the 90s properly. I said it, I meant it, I stand on it. You can hit me up, I don't care who you are. But I'm done. I ain't gonna talk no more. I'm done. I'm gonna get up out of here. And if anything, I'm gonna start curating, coming up and digging in the joints for these 90s records. And if y'all choose to, get down. We're gonna leave links in the description. And on a Sunday, check it out. On a Wednesday, check it out. You know what I'm saying? Particularly. And we're gonna do this. Thank y'all for rocking. East Coast, West Coast, worldwide, Lost Boys, 90s joint, by the way. Just saying. How we end it off, usually, let's do it like this. They say you only live once. That's a lie. You only die once. So anytime that your God allows you to get out here and continue your journey, please show the world the best version of you. Y'all be safe. Peace.
This is a Soul of Art presentation.